Hey, welcome to Industrial Live with your host Jeff Heine, where it is our goal to make you more money. Now today we are answering the question, how to raise rents on your longtime tenants without annoying them and making them want to leave. Now, especially with rents in Denver, especially in the industrial sector going up so much this cycle, recently I've spoken to a handful of property owners who have tenants paying rents that are maybe about half of what the market might support today. And this is a problem because even if the proposed rent hike is a fair market rate, nobody likes it when their rent doubles. So how do you break it to them? How do you raise rents on these tenants without potentially losing them? Let's take a look. Now, the first thing that you want to do is know your numbers cold. Know your numbers. Pull up some comparable lease reports, see what similar properties are going for in the area, and have that information prepared and ready when you approach the tenant and break them the news. Because this way, the tenant knows that they can't just go down the street to get a better deal. And having this information prepared ahead of time, it might even stop them from searching for a new property before they even get anywhere, because you've already done the research for them and shown them that they're not going to get a better deal anywhere else. So know your numbers and bring that to the table. Number 2, demonstrate your understanding of their scenario. Okay, you want to show them that you understand what this rent hike means to them from their perspective. Tell them straight up, hey, I know this is a rent increase of 50% for you. It's gonna be tough to swallow. Because according to FBI negotiator Chris Voss, author of Never Split the Difference, great book, I'd recommend it. Human psychology says you want to first show the other person that you understand their position, what this means to them. Because then, once you've shown them that understanding, they'll be more willing to understand your perspective too. And that's when you can tell them about how your costs are going up as well. It's a little human psychology for you. Number 3. Try offering a small investment into the property. Okay, so what I mean here is think to yourself, are there any nagging repairs that keep coming up? On one property I work at, it was a door that was constantly jamming for the tenant. They kept getting it fixed, it kept coming back up, and something like that, spending $1,000 or so on a no big deal repair, it's a sign of good faith, right? And it could be a very wise investment if it keeps that tenant in the space. So look for something that might be annoying to them that you could just fix for good. And if they don't take you up on this offer, you don't need to make the repair. So it's a win-win. All right, number 4. Get someone else to deliver the bad news for you. Use a third party. Okay. So not only does this save you the hassle of doing it yourself, but according to Roger Dawson, author of Secrets of Power Negotiating, this actually puts you in a stronger negotiating position. Because if you, the decision maker, if you deliver the news, the tenant has direct access to you. You don't want them telling you about some big medical bill that they're dealing with, because that could put you in a position where you're more likely to make a concession that you otherwise wouldn't make. If instead the tenant has to go through a third party, let's say that's a property manager or even a broker, it puts you in a stronger position because it removes that direct emotional connection between you and the tenant, and it allows you to make better money-making decisions. Okay, now last thing I want to touch on is that in order to avoid this situation in the future, try to avoid leases with long options, like especially something with multiple 5-year options, for example, because that's usually how we end up in this scenario to begin with. Now, don't get me wrong, we as landlords love long leases, right? Because with the long lease, you get that security for 5 years, 10 years, whatever it may be. But an option is almost always to the tenant's advantage. It guarantees the tenant the ability to pay rent at a predetermined price for X amount of years, but it doesn't guarantee the landlord anything. That's why I recommend avoiding long options. So last thing before you go, let me know, what do you want covered here? What could help you make more money? What's holding you up from maximizing your income? Type your question in the comments below, and we might just cover it on an upcoming episode. Thanks for tuning in to Industrial Live. I'm Jeff Heine. We'll see you next time.